and so precious to every writer. So I just really want to encourage poets to keep submitting their work. It was so much fun to do this, and I'm really glad that I'm here tonight to hear the winners read. We're going to start with our first place winner, Jessica Leigh McMillan. Her poem is called GILLNET. And so I'm going to read my comments about each of the poems. And when the poets come up here, when you're done reading, please hang out for a second. We've got something to give you. We're going to take a picture and everything. So Jessica's poem, GILLNET. The sensory experiences within GILLNET are raw and genuine, and nearly every word in the poem feels meticulously chosen so as to place the reader directly in the moment the speaker is describing. The assonance and consonants offer a rich depth to the piece that drives the poem's rhythm. Lines like ice hold tepid with fish and lacerated bodies splayed slick are particularly satisfying. All of these skilled techniques culminate in a succinctly stated ending that leaves the reader with an especially striking image that says so much in so few carefully selected words. Please welcome Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, this is really amazing. I quite love Chelsea's poetry, so that makes it especially an honor. And I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. I would have said hi. Okay, here's GILLNET. And that made me really nervous. Nowhere to break away on the boat. My smoke snuck out the porthole above the toilet, rereading his juvie devotions on legal yellow. A battle of temperatures. The hull was warm in the muddy Fraser, ice hold tepid with fish, lunch on red ring. Cloud seemed to boil opening week when we took the biggest catch. Lacerated bodies splayed, slick on the deck, bashed to the side over waves. In the bath, unscrubbable scales sheathed my legs in a tail of refraction mesh, the same that snags gill filament to rob breath. Fish oiled every inhale, every paper bill overpowering perfume counters at the mall to score Doc Martens and lipstick. Land sick, I threw up in the garbage. I thought of the way one salmon looked when I put her back into the current too late. Okay, so Janet says I should read 2 more poems. They're short. Don't worry. Okay. Next one is called Geomorphology. Dad stands at the edge of the bay on Jericho Beach's coastal rocks. He's taller than the clouds that hug the North Shore mountains, just below his shoulder in the picture I put by his hospital bed. He holds my brother, too small for the rocky terrain, and I'm seated among the boulders I learned to jump between and leapt into some kind of life after he left. The frame pokes holes in the white plastic bag, an ether of loss in the room, at the still of his body, his shape whittled as a rock wasting down the mountain to the coast. The toll of my heart understood the grand meter of water and stone finding its level to where the cloud descends on English Bay. You could almost forget any evidence of gravity. This one's pretty new. It was written after that small earthquake that we had. And at the same time, I had a hummingbird trapped in my apartment, and it had to become a poem. So it's called A Bird Rescue and an Earthquake. The house traps a hummingbird in the middle of a half-heated bowl of soup in the hour before school pickup. Her wings disappear as she treads air, wings against glass, hovering and darting around walls, while inept scrolling in the dark confirms she doesn't look for windows, but for light. And leaving an unshaded window coaxed with a green tumbler of pineapple juice on the sill, she breaks free, and the ground shakes with her wings beating in the wind, with the rumbling of plates under the waves as she seeks heights, the way tectonic force knows depth, and an email to parents advises the kids are okay and no buildings suffered any damage, as though crumbling walls were the first expectation, as if instinct against being contained. Thank you.
Certificate for Jessica and a Pfizer here. So just, yeah, we'll get a picture of Chelsea. Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you. Thanks for making that quick.
Jessica McMillan.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Okay, so our second place poem was called Spring Skiing, and that was by Angela Rebrec. So my comments for that were, a cold and biting metaphor is skillfully woven throughout spring skiing with such an impressive subtlety. From lines like purple bodies shivered to the spring runoff hummed blue and translucent, the poem is loaded with dazzling imagery, expertly executed line breaks, and the weight of all that is left unsaid. Angela couldn't come tonight, but her friend Anna Eastland is going to read the poem for us.
Hi everyone, Angela sends her regrets and wanted to express her love and gratitude towards Janet and all the organizers and how much she loves your work. And she's suffering from something called post-literary festivalitis. Yeah, she's president of the Delta Literate Society. I'm the VP, and yeah, we're still recovering, especially her, because she does the lion's share. This is her beautiful and devastating poem, Spring Skiing. When we drove to Whistler, crocuses hitchhiked by the roadside. Their purple bodies shivered as we sped past. The whole drive you talked about endless snow, about how pines endure, your voice in the background like a snowstorm. Those crocuses grew in the shadow of darkened snow plowed high from winter. They pushed through with such certainty. I wanted you to stop so I could ask them, how long until the thaw? But you left spring behind, wending up the sea to sky highway. You talked about how ice cracks rock, how it slides down and smothers, about the time you waited 5 hours for the highway to reopen. Sometimes I think snow flies from your mouth just to freeze me in mid-feeling. I pressed my cheek against the window. The spring runoff hummed blue and translucent, but those crocuses sang like pizzicato notes. Thank you.
Anna's going to deliver it in person? Yes. Okay. And maybe Angela could come another night to read it in person. That'd be lovely. Yes. I'll okay. Thank you. Thank you.
In third place, we had Diana Hayes with her poem JJ and Oakley Gone. So I said that the voice in JJ and Oakley Gone, which is both strong and unique, remains unflinching from beginning to end. The poem paints a vivid picture of a character the reader can't help but be drawn in by. The poet also achieves a spectacular rhythm and has crafted stanzas both packed with detail and word choices that truly shine. So Diana couldn't be here tonight either, so Janet asked me to read her poem. There is a word in here that I have to change to keep it family friendly, so I hope that's okay with Diana. JJ and Oakley gone. Jimmy Jacks was how they knew him on that long stretch of logging road, past Scott's Falls and into frosty Clearcut that time of year, when wives did double duty in the prayers department, ice bridges, washed out rubble, demon breaks that broke ears before ground. Jimmy lost his innocence sooner than the geese skid the lake's shallows that spring, a secret love somewhere far from home, but the Kennedy girl was handsome. He knew she would be as good with kindling as the stove. She had a passion for his lean cheeks, deep drawl in his laughter, almost innocent smile. How many years could he tell by the kids' notches on the pantry wall? Working on 4, then sleepless again at 5, his boy Jackson strongest yet mute. He learned patience, 1 bruiser a year, had to bite his tongue, keep time by the pace between strides and all-night yarns. The lake rose up that morning higher than a guy behind the barn. He loaded the cab, sure to mark the diesel twice before stepping onto the rockers, settling in while the rain bombs slapped the windscreen silly. Couldn't see a thing, but then he had seen it all before. Just past the KQ's bridge, the road looked bright and clear, clouds lifting, the lakeshore shaking up the dawn. He didn't hear the 2-step slide of the double wheels, didn't see the flood but for the wince of his hound Oakley. The dog never failed a ride or missed a day with Jimmy Jacks. Just as the trailer jackknifed then split apart the bridge standards, Oakley's ears cocked, the cab rolled and the lake astern. Nothing to be done now but dive for the bodies, lay them down in arms. So that brings us to our first honorable mention. The poem is called Grapefruit Spoons by Anna Eastland. And I said that Grapefruit Spoons is a tender account of grief woven with heartbreaking and deeply personal details that bring the reader in close. Please welcome Anna Eastland.
Okay, I'm gonna be all blind here, remove my glasses for my tiny phone. So this is from a collection that I'm writing in honor of my late father, Bob McCandless, whom I deeply loved, as you'll be able to tell from the poem. Grapefruit Spoons. I enter your apartment about 6 weeks after you died to gather your important papers. I don't want to touch anything else or unsettle your calmly organized cupboards, covered with labels in your sweet hand. Tea, spices, cups, bowls. My darling scatterbrained dad, you worked so hard this past year, this last year of your cancer, reading Marie Kondo and highlighting half the pages to make everything organized for me, because you knew you were dying, even though I wouldn't believe it. Your home is a little shrine, a testament to all the things you did last, where you hung your bathrobe, your plaid shirt, the dirty baseball cap that you'd wear doing carpentry in my garage. I bury my face briefly in wool sweaters that smell like you, but I don't want to take anything home except the grapefruit spoons with jagged edges. Remember your last week before entering hospice? How I used their tiny teeth to scoop out the half kiwi, which you allowed me to feed you slowly, in its humble viridescence cupped in my hand, and that bright sliver of sun-soaked mango, the baby bird diet I desperately hoped would sustain you. But your frail body was exhausted, and your soul was ready to surrender. These little grapefruit spoons I tuck in my purse and flee your empty apartment. I wish you'd come back and let me feed you again. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, 1, 2, 3. There. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, So our next honorable mention was also our third place winner, Diana Hayes. Her honorable mention poem was called In the Garden with PK, which was rich in detail and imagery and provided a truly stellar example of poetic form. And I think you'll be able to read these poems on our class eventually.
And also Diana's going to be posting a video poem of her third place win.
Okay, so
Watch for that.
Diana's gonna be posting a video of it.
Yeah.
Awesome, okay. All right, and so our final honorable mention is KJ McMillan. The poem was In the Blinding Light, Dancing. In the Blinding Light, Dancing presents readers with a haunting metaphor that lingers long after the poem's final line. Please welcome KJ McMillan.
Hello everyone, it's so nice to see some of you again from SAP previously. Hi Jessica. This is In the Blinding Light, Dancing. My brother was given a magnifying glass in an age where I learned boys want to destroy. He started as innocent as any curious mind would, peeling the fragile paper off crayons and laying them in a line. The intensified light would pierce the cylinder, making the pigment bloom in the heated wax. Mixing colors and peeling them off the pavement, this is around the age we started to understand. Started to feel the peeling away and the removal. The ants were just on a walk when they were blinded by the white light beside my brother's shoe as he crouched down. We watched them squirm. Why did she always want to watch? You could tell it hurt them by the way their bodies danced, like a pleading for it to stop. When they would lock me in my room, quietly waiting, I would listen, still and mannered, to my brother's voice, a hoarse, urgent yowl. Children are innocent by nature. It's by being burnt alive that makes them turn. He stopped burning them alive after we watched their pain and felt our own. I wondered why they enjoyed watching the pain when this young boy, he learned to dislike the violence. Maybe they were just repeating, stuck in the blinding light, dancing. Thank you, everyone.
Those borderlands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's go
Yeah.
over here.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Very nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
The pink crew. Yeah. So I guess
Nefertiti will be going to break.